So hello and welcome to this Facebook Live. I'm Sandy. Nice to see you and nice to meet you. For this Facebook Live, I want to talk about a chapter from my new book, Calm Cure, on awareness. And I'm going to be talking about why peace and calm are easier to experience than you may think. And so this is a really important topic, and I think you might enjoy it. So like I said, I'm going to talk today from my new book, Calm Cure, on why peace and calm are much easier to experience than you may think. And what I'm going to share in this next few minutes could literally change your life, and I really am not overestimating that. I know people say that all the time, but if you listen in, you may find it could be really quite powerful. So a few years ago, I was so far from the peaceful, happy self I wanted to be, and I was experiencing a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. I was aging super quick. I was super tired all the time, and I went along to learn to meditate, rather begrudgingly, and it turned out to be one of the best weekends of my life. And I remember going home after it to have my first solo meditation. And sitting down, dimming the lights, getting comfortable, closing my eyes, and God's honest truth, within about 30 seconds, someone had started drilling the road outside my bedroom window. I lived in a quiet part of Edinburgh at the time, and someone started drilling the road. I'd never seen road workers there ever before. And I'm sat there thinking, this is just bloody typical. I'm trying to do something good here, and someone's drilling the road. Well, long story short, I thought, well, I'll do it. I'll get up and do it again later. Later never came, and I accidentally quit. But because I had a technique, but I wasn't actually using it, my life went even more rock bottom. And I personally need a lot of motivation to meditate. I recommend you don't do the same. I recommend if you get the hit to learn, then you should go ahead. But I had to have my life go completely pear-shaped for me to be motivated to go and resit the course. I learned Ascension by the Shies of the Bright Path, and I went to resit the course because you can do it for free. And I was at a hard place in my life, so I thought, well, I'll go and do that this weekend. There's a course happening nearby. And it was during that weekend where I saw the monks that were teaching it that weekend. They had the same kind of calm, still, happy look in their eye as the other monk that taught me. And I wanted a bit of that. And what was interesting was one of them said something that weekend that always stuck with me. He said, permanent peace is possible. Now, for me, my mind instantly wanted to say, piss off, that's not possible. But they seem to be experiencing it. They seem to be in a really good place, and I wanted some of it. And so I started meditating a lot more. Long story short, I ended up going off and meditating with the monks that taught me for a number of months. I became a monk myself. That's a story for another Facebook Live, I'm sure. And I've discovered it is true. Permanent peace is possible. And not only that, but peace is easier than we may think. Before I get into the book, talking about the book, thank you so much, guys. The book is currently sitting at number 2 on Amazon. Number 2. So thank you so much, everyone who's bought a copy. I really appreciate that. I mean, it's to get this without any TV or radio or anything like that, just for you guys supporting this book, it means a lot to me. So thank you so much for helping make it number 2. And maybe if a few of you buy a copy, having watched this, we might even get it number 1. It's not that far off the number 1 spot, which would be really fun. Not that I'm attached to it, but it's fun to play the game. And so, Zoe says, loving your book, Sandy. That's brilliant. Thank you so much. And Lorna says, I want a bit of permanent peace. Hey, Lorna, how you doing? How's life in Australia? I think it's where you are these days. So, permanent peace is possible, and there's 2 things I want to share with you today as to how you can experience much more in your life. If permanent sounds like a long way away for you, then experiencing it, touching it, being more calm and peaceful is definitely possible. The first thing you need to do is you need to make it more important. You need to make it a priority in your life. It takes effort to not be peaceful. Which is that ironic thing. It takes so little to actually experience peace. But we're so habitualized into doing and all the other habits of our mind and ego that we tend to miss the peace that's right under our nose. And so the first thing you need to do is to make it important to you. Now, and what does that mean? It means you need to make it more important than being right. Oh. You need to make it more important than being on time. You need to make it more important than parking tickets. I remember I used to get so pissed off at parking tickets. But when I was doing that, I was basically, the parking ticket cost £30 if I paid within 14 days. And so £30, but I was so pissed off about these parking tickets. But anytime I was doing that, I was basically making my piece worth £29.99. My piece was not worth 30 quid because I was willing to exchange it for being pissed off about the parking ticket. Does that make sense? So you need to make peace more important than being right, being on time, parking tickets, and also your life going to your particular plan. Things happening how you think they should. As long as you are wanting life to only go your way, then it's going to end up being contradictory to that at some point, and we can lose our peace. So the first thing you need to do is make it important. Now, today that might be grabbing a copy of the book and making a commitment to actually do something about experiencing more peace in your life. But whatever that might be for you, the first thing is to make it more important. The second thing is to know how to experience it, know where the peace exists. Now, what I would want to emphasize to you guys is that what you want exists right here, right now. You exist right here, right now. And right here, right now is the only moment that exists. So if you want to experience peace, you need to recognize that the peace you seek exists right now. This now is the only time you're going to be able to experience it. Now, the mind will convince you you can't experience peace and calm until everything is fixed, changed, and improved and sorted. And so the mind will always put it in the future. Or say, I can't be peaceful because of what they said earlier, what happened in my childhood, or whatever. It'll say, like, I can't be peaceful now because of some other time. But the reality is that the only time you can experience peace is right now. And so now is where you need to look for it. Also, the great spiritual teachers and meditation teachers over the ages have always said, you are what you seek. You are what you want. And so what that means is if you want peace, then that means you are that peace. That peace exists within you somewhere. So you need to know where to look. So would you like to have my perspective on where to look and how you can find it much quicker and easier than you may think? I would like to read a little bit from chapter 2 from Calm Cure. This chapter is called Awareness, and the subtitle is The Heart of Healing. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a paragraph or two from my new book that came out yesterday, and thank you for everyone who's grabbed a copy so far. So here's the first bit of that chapter. Self-awareness is the term I use for being aware of the aspect of yourself that is aware. Self-awareness is the aspect the term I use for being aware of the aspect of yourself that is aware. Bear with me, what does that mean? Well, I actually say that in the next sentence. What do I mean by this statement? Inside you, right now, there is an awareness that is aware of this moment happening, including, for instance, the words you're currently reading or listening to. Yes, your mind is reading, but your awareness is aware of the words on the page. See the difference? Some call this awareness the observer, the witness, the stillness, or the being. It really doesn't matter what we label it. What matters most is that we are aware of its presence within us and make it a priority to experientially engage life with self-awareness from now on. I'm going to read that again because it is so fundamentally important. What matters most is that we are aware of its presence within us and make it a priority to experientially engage life with self-awareness from now on. If you did one thing from this call and this Facebook Live, it'd be to experientially engage life with self-awareness from now on. And hopefully I'm going to make a strong case for doing that. Then I have a quote on the page by St. Francis of Assisi that says, what you're looking for is what's looking. What you're looking for is what is looking. What you're looking for is what's looking. That's epic. So what that means is if you're looking for a relationship or a bigger house or a better car or more money or better health or whatever, peace, happiness, love, whatever it is, what you're looking for is what's actually looking. The observer. The awareness. That's what we're actually looking for. Because if we rest in doing and experience that awareness, we experience the peace, we experience the calm, we experience the fulfillment. fulfillment. I think that's a combination of fulfillment and happiness. Gotta love dyslexia. You experience what you believe the car is going to give you, what you believe the relationship is going to give you. You experience love, for example. You experience happiness, for example. What you're looking for is what is looking. Amazing. The peace we seek is closer than the next breath. And let me explain why. The next part is called the aware of the full spectrum. Awareness is aware of all of your inner thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations, along with your external events and experiences. Awareness is still, silent, spacious, peace-filled presence. Did you hear that? Awareness, this awareness we're talking about, which is always there, is still, silent, spacious, peace-filled presence. It's not otherworldly, but as real as you can get. It is the most permanent and unchanging aspect of you, so I would go as far as to say it's who you really are. Silently observing the happening of every inner and outer experience that you've ever encountered, there has never been a moment in your life when this awareness has not been present within you, even if you haven't always been aware of its presence. So that's the thing, guys. It's there, even if we aren't aware of its presence. So peace is within us, but we're just not putting any attention on it. Awareness is aware of the full spectrum of life, and being self-aware, you can find it possible to calmly coexist with anything that comes your way. And that's the thing, we don't need to manage, manipulate, and control everything in life, because the awareness that's aware of it is already at peace. So we don't have to make everything external life peaceful. We can experience the peace within that's aware of life. See, peace is aware of life, because our awareness is aware of life, and awareness is peace-filled. It's a peaceful presence. The next section is the safe haven of awareness. In the same way that the sky doesn't care what flies through it, awareness is not concerned with what it is aware of. Oh my God, every sentence is magic in this part of the book. In the same way that the sky doesn't care what flies through it, awareness is not concerned by what it is aware of. Irrespective of how good or bad life appears to be on the surface, your underlying awareness remains still, calm, and well, always. So irrespective of how negative your thoughts are, how intense the emotions are, what's happening in your body or life, the awareness that's aware of it is always still, silent, calm, well, free. It's just always present, right there all the time. If you ever have suffering from your opinions, you're dug into a position and you're having an argument or something, just remember that the awareness that's aware, that aspect of you that is really you, that has no opinion. It's the mind and the ego that has opinions, but the awareness has no opinion. It's aware of a mind having opinions. Do you get the difference? It's aware of a mind that's scared, but it's not scared. It's aware of a mind that's anxious, but the awareness isn't anxious. It's aware of a body that's suffering physically, but it's not suffering. It's aware of a body that's doing that. The awareness itself is always still, calm, and well. If you get this, you can end up pursuing a path that can be the fast track to freedom for you. One of the core reasons why we tend to recoil from experiencing the full spectrum of life, the reason I talk about this here is because the book is about having a willingness and ability to experience the full spectrum of life. One of the core reasons why we tend to recoil from experiencing the full spectrum of life is that we've tried to do so without self-awareness. We've been taught to think about life rather than directly experience it from the safe haven of our permanently present and peaceful awareness. Thinking about life gets us caught up in a world of thoughts, and if they happen to be negative, then that is how we feel. However, by being self-aware, aware of the aspect of yourself that is aware, you can experience the unconditional calm of your awareness, instead of only the ups and downs of your conditioned mind. So without self-awareness, we just tend to feel our thinking all the time. And the feeling and thinking, well, I'm going to talk about that in a second actually, so I'll read it instead of spraff about it. Without self-awareness, our thoughts about what's happening determine our experience of and relationship with life. But here lies the problem with relying solely on this non-aware, thought-based perspective on life. The mind makes sense of reality by judging if it is good or bad, right or wrong, better or worse, positive or negative. If based upon our preconditioned mind-made judgments, life appears to be bad, wrong, worse or negative, then the habitual tendency is to resist the perceived problem and experience the negative side effects of our resistance to what is, including anger, anxiety, sadness, fear, guilt, grief, shame, frustration, loneliness. The list goes on. But as I've already mentioned, your awareness is an ever-present, ongoing state of still, silent, spacious calm within which you can comfortably coexist with all of life, free from the countless symptoms of conditioned conflict. So that's a little extract I wanted to share from Calm Cure. Thanks everyone who's bought it so far. You've helped it become a bestseller. It's sitting at number 2 now. Last night was number 3, but this morning number 2. Probably just a handful of books away from the number 1 spots. If you do want to help me out and if this has inspired you, grab a copy and go to amazon.co.uk and grab a copy. Preferably sooner rather than later, so we can yeah, like I say, I'm not attached to the number 1 spot, but it's fun to play the game. And thanks to everyone who's liking this and loving it and giving lots of hearts and stuff. I really appreciate that. You guys are awesome. So Calm Cure, the unexpected way to improve your health, your life, and your world. And it really is the unexpected way, because we think we have to rush around trying to fix, change, and improve everything. But we really need to heal our relationship with everything. We need to become self-aware and learn how to go beyond the conditioning that has caused us to be in a fruitless fight with life. And that's what this book is about. Imagine if you no longer need to keep your mind happy. Imagine if whatever happened in your day you didn't suffer from. How cool would that be? You'd be free to be and do whatever you want, and you'd be much more fluid and flexible, and life would be much more of an adventure and much more fun. And you'd have less reasons not to love. You'd have less reasons not to be happy. You see, the mind talks us out of being happy. It's not like against us. It just thinks happiness is in the future, and it judges everything that's happening now as good or bad, right, wrong, better, worse, positive, negative. And if we end up on the bad, wrong, worse, or negative side, then we end up with a problem. But the reality is the awareness that's aware is an inner source, an inner wellspring of joy. It's a permanent presence of peace, and it's an unconditional, loving presence as well. It's beyond judgment, it's beyond conditions, it's beyond requirements. Basically, when you become self-aware, you run out of reasons not to love, and you get to actually love your life. And for me, that is what a truly successful life is, guys. It's a life that you love. I don't care how much money you've got. If you're not loving your life, I don't see it as successful. You want to be loving your life, and I'm passionate about helping people do that. When I discovered that the peace I was hungry for was closer than my next breath, when I discovered that peace was right within me the whole time, I'd just been looking in the wrong direction, I became very motivated to help as many people as possible discover the same. There's so much suffering happening in the world at the moment, guys, and at the same time, everyone is so close to peace. They're just looking in the wrong direction. And so we need to get this word out there and share this message of waking up, to help people to actually discover that the peace they seek is permanently present. It's within us now. Only, always, ever now. The peace that we look for is always within us right now. And if you say, no, I can't be peaceful because of my thoughts, because of my emotions, because of what's happening in my body or life, it's just because you're putting your attention on what you are aware of much more than putting your attention on what's actually aware. When you become self-aware and you're aware of the aspect of yourself that is aware, by becoming fully engaged in the present moment, you discover that there's a massive stillness and a quietness and a calm and a love waiting for you. It has been waiting for you your entire life, and it's like coming home when you return to yourself, capital S, and you return to yourself through the present moment, because the present moment is the only moment that exists. It's the only moment that you exist. And so I really hope that you take this opportunity to seize the moment and make it a priority in your life to experientially engage life with self-awareness from now on. If you want to find out more about this, in the chapter there's a link to a video on my website where I teach a technique for becoming self-aware. Yeah, you'll find it if you grab a copy of the book. But there's I've created additional resources to support this book, and I've created additional resources that support this book, videos, guided meditations, really cool stuff. So the book's like a tenner, but you get like loads of other online recorded guided meditations and videos and stuff to help you apply the book to your life. I don't want you just to conceptually go, that's a cool idea, and then forget about it. I want you to make the move from knowing about it to actually experiencing it in your life. That's how we be the change we want to see in the world, and that's how we bring about a better world and a happier world and a more peaceful world. So thank you so much, guys, for your commitment to being the change you want to see, and that starts with you being peaceful and calm. Until we next speak, check out sannewbigging.com/pre-order CamCure if the page is still there when you watch this, or just pop onto Amazon, grab a copy, ideally sooner rather than later, because we never know, it might hit the number one spot. Until I next speak to you, thanks for all the love, guys. You make this a joy to do, and I will speak to you very, very soon. Until then, I wish you infinite peace, limitless love, and happy waking up. Bye for now.